Hi everyone, this is Crafty Decoria and I hope you're all doing great. So for today's Dollar Tree Craft with Me, I will be making yet another 3-tiered tray. All of the items are from Dollar Tree with the exception of 2. The first is this Krylon Paint and Primer Fusion All-in-One in matte black finish. Now if you want to keep it Dollar Tree, go ahead and pick up the acrylic paint from there. I do like it a lot. It's just the paint and primer is so much quicker to get my projects done. If you do use the acrylic paint, just sand down your item really well beforehand and then seal it afterwards. And then the second item, I was going to use the E6000 glue, but then I came across this LePage No More Nails construction adhesive, all-purpose, multi-usage, and it says stronger, instant grab, faster. And I did use this the other day and I could not believe how quickly it bonded my pieces together. So I'm going to give it a try with today's DIY and see how that goes. I also have this Dollar Tree decor piece, which my Dollar Tree has so many of these at the time being. I have 2 of these decor pieces, which I'll only be using the bottom, so I will be taking the apple and the peg out. I have 2 of the bamboo cutting boards, 3 of these wooden trays, and I did pick up the large, medium, and small. And then I have a couple items that I already had on hand. They are from Dollar Tree, but I'm just using up some scrap pieces. I have the gigantic craft sticks, just some scraps to keep the bamboo cutting boards together. And also a magnetic button. I actually will need 2. So this one I already had open, so I'll just go ahead and use that. And that is everything. So if you care to see how I put this 3-tiered tray together, then keep on watching. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to be gluing my cutting boards together. So I will add some of the adhesive in between the cutting boards, but then I'm going to take my gigantic craft sticks and then I will place it over that joint or seam there where they join. And because I am adding that to the center, I also need to add a piece on each end so that the cutting boards are flat and they don't teeter-totter. Guys, so my cutting boards are together. However, I think I'm going to finish the rest of the project with the E6000 glue because I found for some reason, and I don't know if it's because I didn't sand down the bamboo cutting boards, they don't seem glossy, but for some reason they weren't holding together. It could just be that it was too thin of an area, but I figured once I applied it on the gigantic craft sticks that it would hold everything in place, but it didn't seem to be holding it very well, so I'm not sure about that. Nevertheless, for the continuation of this project, I'm just going to switch to my E6000 glue because all my projects I've done with this pretty much and I've never had a problem. So I'll test this out again another day and let you know how it goes. So now my next step, I went ahead and I measured, well, I placed my larger wooden tray on the bamboo cutting boards and I tried to center it, and then I traced where I wanted it to sit. After I did that, I took my decor piece and I placed it directly behind. And then I went ahead and I drew a line with my pencil. And that's just so I know the spacing for the other 2 trays. Now this, I'm not going to glue it on right away, but I will be spray painting it with the rest of the decor piece here, the rest of my tray. But because I want the bamboo to be left bamboo, I'm just going to spray everything first and then glue it on later. And that's why I went ahead and traced out the position where I want my tray, as well as the decor piece that's going to sit directly behind, and then that will hold the other two wooden trays. So I went ahead and I pulled out the apples from these two decor pieces. Now what I'm using these for is to be glued directly on to the decor piece. So I will glue them like this, and that way I will take my wooden trays and then glue them directly onto this. And the reason for that is because these trays, as beautiful as they are, there's an angle to them, and I wanted them to sit flush to this decor piece, but because it's on an angle, it won't. So by adding this little block, I can glue that and then just glue my tray directly on top, and then that's just going to look a lot nicer. So to get my spacing out for the other two trays, I knew that with my smallest tray, which is the top one, I knew I wanted it to be flush with the decor piece. So all I did was I placed it up to the top, nice and flush, and then I took this piece and just put it directly underneath. And then I drew a line underneath that. So that gives me my top positioning for my wooden tray, and I also have my bottom one, and then I eyeballed more or less where I want that middle tray to go. So again, I just drew a line. I will glue this one to the long decor piece, and then once those are glued in place, I'll take my wooden trays and then glue them to the top of these decor pieces. And then I can take that outside and give it a couple coats of spray paint along with the larger tray that I will be gluing to the bottom of the three-tiered tray. So just a little tip, when I add my E6000 glue, probably because I put on a little more than I need to, I find that sometimes my pieces move from where I have placed them. So once I have them where I want them, I'll just go ahead and take my hot glue, and then I'll add a line of glue to the bottom or to the top of the piece, and that way it just keeps them in their place until they are completely dry. So I made a little bit of a boo-boo, but you know, it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't either make a boo-boo or change the project up a few times. And that's just the way that it goes when I'm doing this on the fly. But that's okay. I think that it will work out better. It would have been fine the other way around, but it's not going to make the project completely fall apart because I did make this mistake. So if you remember, I drew a pencil line and I wanted to glue these blocks above the pencil line so that my top wooden tray would be flush with the longer decor piece. But because I glued underneath the pencil line, now I have a little bit of a gap at the top, and quite honestly, it's fine. I just wanted it at the top to be flush, but it's not going to make that much of a difference. It actually might even be a little bit better, so that when I place what I'm going to be placing at the top, and you'll see that when we get to that point, you'll just be able to see more of it, and that's it. So I just wanted to mention it so that if you really do want your tray to be flush, then just remember to glue these blocks above the pencil line and not below the way that I did. But I make the mistakes so that you don't have to. Now I'm ready to bring this and the larger wooden tray outside to give them a couple coats of the Krylon Fusion all-in-one paint and primer in the matte black finish. Okay guys, so it's the next day and everything has dried really nicely and I love how this is looking. Now I did go and do an extra step, and for myself I would recommend this step only because when I make a DIY I want to make sure that everything is adhered nice and strong so that it doesn't come apart. Especially with a 3-tiered tray, you're going to be placing items on this, and so you don't want, if you're giving this to someone else or even for yourself, whatever you have on there to just fall apart and break whatever it is you're adding. I wouldn't add super heavy things to this, but you know, little succulents or little decor pieces should be fine. But what I did was I went ahead and I pre-drilled a couple holes on the bottom, and then I added a couple screws. Now this is going to be mine, so I don't care as much what it looks like. I probably would have used nicer screws and probably a little bit smaller. But by pre-drilling the holes, you're going to make this easier so that your bamboo does not split and your decor piece in the back does not split. So this way I know 100% that this piece is nice and secure and it's not going to fall apart. The thing is, when I added the E6000 glue, it was holding, but I did have to hold it for a bit because I didn't have anything to support it so that it wouldn't fall. After about 5 minutes, I did see that it set a little bit, so I added whatever I had on hand and it did hold it up. But I was just afraid that, you know, there was a possibility that once I put things on this that it could just fall over, and I didn't want that to happen. So why not be safe and add that extra bit of security? So now I will be moving on to adding my magnet. So as I said in the beginning, I was going to add the magnet to the top, and this top wooden tier was supposed to come flush with the top of the decor piece. So what I think I'm going to do now is I still am going to add one to the top, but I'm also going to add one here so that if I want to add something thin, which I would highly recommend these color your own ornaments that Dollar Tree always brings out seasonally. For Valentine's they had the hearts. During the winter months and Christmas, they have candy canes, they have all different shapes. And this way they're lightweight, they're thin, and I think they would look super cute at the top so that you can change this tier out seasonally, not just inside of the wooden trays, but also at the top of your 3-tiered tray. So because the magnets are black, they're not going to be such an eyesore. I mean, if I have something on top, then I will most likely have things in front hiding this magnet. And then if I do want to use these thinner wooden ornaments, then when I place them here, it's going to cover the one on top. But this way I have more options. If I want to add something a little bit bulkier, I can add it to the top, and again, something thinner, I can just stick it to the front. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my magnets, and then I will dress everything up to show you how beautiful this 3-tier tray looks once it is all complete. Okay guys, so here is my Dollar Tree 3-tiered tray, and I have to say this is my favorite one that I've made so far. So here at the top I added the wooden bunny. Now I didn't do anything to him. I just added a jute twine piece of rope that came with each bunny in the pack. You get 8 in a pack, and I just tied it to cover up that hole. But at the beginning, when I showed the reveal of this, I had my other bunny, which was part of a Dollar Tree sign, my favorite bunny sign, and I just took the bunny off and then I stained him with the Dollar Tree shoe polish and added a little pom-pom to the back of him, and I love how that looks. So I just left the other one plain, but definitely if you pick up the Dollar Tree shoe polish, you can stain these wooden pieces, and I think it looks really nicely with the bamboo. So there it is in full. And this actually, surprisingly, is a really good size three-tiered stand. And I knew the baskets were on the smaller size, like the large one is pretty good, but I knew that it would just make a really nice 3-tier stand. I just had to do it in a way where I'd be able to use all of the space inside of the wooden trays. And by adding that decor piece in the back, I was able to do that. So I did add some Dollar Tree silver wire LED lights to this so that I can enjoy it at night as well as the day. I added some of the Dollar Tree eggs, a little Dollar Tree decor sign, and then at the bottom, these are from Dollarama, just 2 little potted greeneries that I had on hand, and I added them to the bottom. But I absolutely love this, and now not only can I decorate inside of the wooden trays, but I can also change out seasonally the top of the tray, and I don't have to worry about picking it up from the top. I can just grab it from in behind where the Dollar Tree decor piece is. And I absolutely love this. Again, if this is something that you want to try making, I would again recommend that you add a couple of screws to the bottom so that you are sure that everything is going to stay in place. I'm sure the E6000 glue would hold it great. But if you are like me and you worry sometimes that something could come apart, just add those screws. Remember to just pre-drill the holes so that you don't split the wood and the decor piece in the back, and you are good to go. Well guys, that will do it for this Dollar Tree craft with me. I really hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Share the video if you can. It will greatly help my channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love and appreciate it if you did. As always guys, you take care of yourselves, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Bye for now.